So inshallah we're going to start. Bismillah. Question? So we'll do inshallah part of ayah number 61 of Surah Al-Baqarah. It's a long ayah. So before I do a simple translation, the background of this ayat is that it is about the Bani Israel, people who have migrated from Egypt, and they are still in the Sinai Peninsula, in the desert area, and Musa alayhi salam is with them. The ayahs before this one, we learned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided food for them, which is man and salwa in the desert, as well as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided water for them through the rock. So Bani Israel people kept using this food and water, and then they got tired of eating the same kind of food. So they asked Musa alayhi salam to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he provides them other things also for eating. So this ayat talks about that. So first we will do a simple translation of part of the ayat. And the ayat starts with A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wa idh qultum. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the Bani Israel directly, the people, by saying, Wa idh qultum, and when you said. So these people said something, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is quoting, Wa idh qultum, and when you said, Ya Musa, O Musa, which means they are talking to Musa alayhi salam. These people are addressing and having a conversation with Musa alayhi salam. Then they said, Lan nasbira. We are not going to have patience anymore. We are very impatient now. Never. Lan means never. Ala ta'amin wahidin. By keep eating only one kind of food. Ta'amin wahidin means one kind of food. So we are not going to have, we are very impatient now by continuing eating same kind of food. So then they further said, Fad'u lana. So make dua or call for us, Rabbaka, your Lord. Now notice here they are saying your Lord, not our Lord. Okay. Yukhrij lana, that he brings out for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings out for us mimma tumbitul ardu, of that which earth grows, which comes out of the earth. And then they listed a number of things they wanted to eat. Okay, the first thing they said, mim baqliha, and I have written down the meanings of these 4 or 5 food items they are asking. Baqliha is like anything that grows out of the earth, like vegetables, okay, or some herbs, sag, those kind of things. Then they said, waqithaiha, and this is the other kind of food, like cucumber, those kind of things which come out, cucumber and few other things which look like cucumber. Then they said, wafumiha. Fumiha is translated generally as corn or wheat or garlic also. Then they said, we want to have adasiha, which is lentils. So, and then they said, basaliha, and the onions. So they basically provided a whole list of the grocery to Musa alayhi salam, that ask your Lord that he should make us these things, provide for us these things, they should come out of the land. Okay? So this is that they demanded Musa alayhi salam. So Musa alayhi salam responded to them. He replied, Qala. Qala means he said, and he here is Musa alayhi salam. Qala atastabdiluna, do you want to change? This is from tabdil, badal. Atastabdiluna, are you thinking of changing alladhi, that which, huwa adna, which is lower quality, low kind of things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you better food. You want to change that with a lower kind. Adna means lower. Okay. Billadhi, with that or in place of that, huwa khair, which was better. So what you were given to eat was better food, and now you are asking for the food of lower quality, lower kind. Okay? So these are the things that they asked, and this is what the answer they got from Musa alayhi salam. So this ayat continues, and we will look into that, the rest of the ayat later. So first let's understand this ayat first. The ayat starts with وَإِذْ قُلْتُمْ. So the first two words are wa, idh. Wa means and idh means when. And as I mentioned before, idh is used when you're talking about the past tense. Something in the history is being described, then the word idh is used. So where it means wa'idh and when, sometimes in the history, in the past. Okay? Then the next word is qultum. So let's look at that word. Qultum. Qultum starts with these three letters, qaf, waw and lam. The meaning of these three letters in Arabic would be to say. Okay. Now if we look into our normal grammar, if we have these three letters fa, and lam, which means to do, and if I take these three letters and combine them like that, fa'al, and then add a ta and a mim at the end with the sound of tum. So the word becomes fa'altum. Fa'altum means you did. And you here is plural. Okay? So this is the way we make the grammar of something, you and did. Okay? You is plural, you all, and did is past tense. So if we take the three basic root letters, and we put a tum at the end, the word which is created is fa'altum. Fa'altum means you, all of you did something. Okay? So we will use this rule to understand this word here, which is qultum. Okay? So if I apply the same rule, I combine these three letters just like I combine these three here. It will become qaf, waw, and lam. Qawal. Exactly same Arab I put on these three letters. Fatah, fatah, and sukoon. So it will become qawal. Okay? And then I add tum at the end. Okay? So this word will become, by the rule of the grammar, qawaltum. And the meaning will be, by this rule, is you said. Okay? So the meaning will be you, plural, said. Past tense. So this is what the word originally will become, qawaltum, by the rule, this rule. Now here in this word, always remember that in Arabic alphabets, there are three letters, alif, waw, and ya. Those are called weak letters. Like in English, there are vowels, A, E, O, and U, those kind of things. And whenever they come in a word, in three letters word, because they are weak, and there is some mismatch. For example, waw and fatah don't go in the sound together. The sound of waw is the sound of dhamma. Okay? So this letter basically is a mismatch here. So what happens in this kind of speech by saying qawaltum, qawaltum, if you try to say that one, in the speech, this letter wow loses its sound. So it totally drops out. But before it drops out, its sound is transferred back to qaf. So this will become qul. This is how it will transform into. The sound of wow is the sound of dhamma, ooh. It will transfer to qaf, so it will become ku. And wow will go away, so it will become kul. So this word qawal will change into kul. And tum is already there. So now the word is qultum. That's the word in the Quran. Qultum. You said. And when you said. Now here, from the continuity of the ayat, we know that who is you in this ayat. You is the Bani Israel. These are the people who are in the desert area with Musa alayhi salam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing Bani Israel in this ayat by saying, and when you said something in the past. Okay? So that is what's the meaning of this word so far. And when you said. And when you said. Okay? So this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding them. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, what is that they said? So the first word Bani Israel used, because Musa alayhi salam is present them, they went to Musa alayhi salam and said, O Musa. Ya means O, Musa. So Bani Israel are saying something to Musa alayhi salam, and they are addressing like, oh my brother, oh my leader, oh Musa. So this is coming out from Bani Israel saying, oh Moses. Ya Musa. Okay. So now after addressing and calling him by his name, Musa, they want to express what is that they want to say. Okay. And so they are saying, Lan nasbira. These are the words coming out of Bani Israel, the mouth of the people, to Musa alayhi salam. So the word is Lan nasbira. So let's look at these words. Lan nasbira. In Arabic, the word la, lam with alif and fatah, means not. The word lan, lam with a noon, means never. That's the difference between these two words. La means not, lan means never. But lan also does something else. Okay? So let's look at the next word. Next word starts with these three letters, Swad, Ba, and Ra. Sabara. This means to have patience, or to be patient. To be patient about something. Sabr. We use this all the time. Okay, to be patient about something. Okay? Now we want to go back to our standard grammar, which is fa and lam. This means to do. Okay? If we put a noon in the beginning with a fatah and take the next three letters and combine them like this. Naf'alu. If you put these kind of Arabs, harakats, and pronounce naf'alu, this means we do or we will do. Both meanings are correct. Naf'alu, by adding a noon in the beginning, becomes the grammar of we, plural, and present tense. We do. Okay? So if I apply this rule in those three letters, except one thing, that this always carries a kasra, this will become nas biru. We put a noon in the beginning, so it becomes we have patience, or we are patient, or we will be patient. Okay? So this becomes we will be patient, or we are patient. Same thing. So there are different words. There are three different groups. All the words are divided. Okay. So, and there is example. Fataha. Actually, I can just write down quickly a few. Fataha. And Seen, Mim, Ain. And there are a few more. These are the words which are used for explanation. So whenever we make the grammar of these, they always carry three fathas. When we make the grammar of these three letters, they carry this one. Right? And there are few others. So this group of letters, Swad, Ba and Ra, go into this one. Okay? So it always carries. So there is a classification of three. All the three letters have classification, and they fall into three groups. And those three groups are such that middle letter in some will be Fatah, middle letter in some will be Dhamma, middle letter in some other will be Kasra. If you remember what we say in the Salat, when we stand up, we say Sami Allah. This is the word we use. Sami means to hear. Sami Allah, we pronounce a kasra with the mim. Sami Allah means Allah has heard. Sami Allah, Allah has heard. So there is a further classification that middle letter can have one of the three harakas. Okay? So in this case, this middle letter has kasra. So when you apply this rule, it becomes nasbiru, because middle letter is kasra, falls into this category. Okay? So nasbiru means we will be patient, or we will have patience. Okay? Now lan has its characteristic. Whenever lan is used, first of all, it brings the meaning of never. If I had a la here, la nasbiru, that means we will not be patient. But when we say lan, we will never be patient. Okay, that's bring the concept of never. But lan does one more thing. Whenever lan comes, it looks at the last letter and changes this last letter dhamma into a fatah. That's the characteristic for lan. In the speech, whenever lan comes, it changes the present tense last letter from a dhamma to a fatah. So it is pronounced, instead of lan nasbiro, it will be lan nasbira. Lan nasbira means we will not have patience anymore. We will never have patience anymore. Means we are done, we are tired of eating the same kind of food. We cannot have patience anymore. Okay? So this is what they are telling Musa alayhi salam, that we will never have patience anymore. Okay? So this will be lan nasbira. We will never be patient.
Any idea how long they've been eating that food?
No. Well, they wandered for 40 years in the desert. That's what we know.
How much?
40 years. Until the entire generation was gone and the new generation was born. So those people who were all those disobeying and giving Musa alayhi salam difficult times and all kinds of things they were doing, they died. So at least 40 years they wandered around. But actually in the Quran this is used, Arba'ina sana, 40 years. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that they were in the desert, 40 years. Okay? So but here Musa alayhi salam is still alive. So this is much sooner than that. Okay? So lan nasbira, then further they said ala ta'amin wahidin. So let's look at those words.